the suck of your boot leaving the muck, is the only metronome in this cathedral of failed flesh. Each step is a wet, tearing sound, a protest from the viscous, milky fluid that coats the flagstones. It's a secretion, a kind of uterine weeping from the very walls of this place, the abattoir of the unborn. You lift your foot again. SSS schluck. The sound is a constant companion, a reminder of where you are and what you're wading through. Overhead, vaulted ceilings that might have once reached for a god now sag under the weight of pulsating, organic growths. They drip, a slow, steady patter of the same milky fluid, and something thicker, cloudier, that catches the dim, ambient light filtering through stained glass windows depicting not saints, but chimerical anatomies in ecstatic contortions. One of these viscous globules lands on your cheek. It's warm, thick like unset gelatin. You don't flinch. You just blink, the motion dragging the stuff across your eyelashes, smearing your vision into a warped, Vaseline lens. You wipe it away with the back of a scarred, gloved hand. The world sharpens again, a grotesque tableau of biological heresy. Alcoves line the nave, each housing a sculpture not carved from stone, but grown from gristle and bone. Fused limbs, torsos splitting open to reveal ribcages like blossoming flowers of ivory, faces with too many eyes weeping a slow, crystalline resin. They are the monuments to the flesh wars, the silent, screaming testaments to what happens when life loses its blueprint. Some say they're art. Some say they're warnings. You just think they're waste. The air is a physical presence, heavy and cloying with the sweet, rotten fruit stench of accelerated decay. It coats your tongue, a phantom taste of overripe melon and iron. This is the scent of the blight, the all-consuming corruption that has turned the world into a canvas for a mad god's biological whims. And you are a Mire Scavenger, a bottom feeder in the grand, decaying ecosystem. Your goal is not glory, not survival in the grand sense, but something far more ludicrous and sacred, to find a pocket of untainted soil, a patch of earth that remembers what it was like to be just dirt, to grow something that wasn't a monstrosity, a myth, a fool's errand. Your errand. See anything, boss. The voice, thin and reedy with unearned optimism, cuts through the oppressive silence. It comes from behind you. Juno reigns, your apprentice, your shadow, your burden. He's trying to whisper, but in the echoing chamber of the abattoir, his voice carries like a shout. You don't turn. You keep your gaze fixed on the far end of the nave, where a mound of discarded organic matter pulses with a faint, rhythmic bioluminescence. Just the usual abominations, Juno. Keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. The echoes in here can wake the dead. Or worse, the things that aren't quite. Right. Mouth shut, he says, his boots making a much louder, more frantic schluck as he hurries to catch up. He's young, barely a man, with a face that hasn't yet learned how to hold the permanent grimace of this world. He still has the capacity for awe, a trait you find both pathetic and profoundly dangerous. He looks at you with an unwavering admiration that feels like a physical weight on your shoulders, a pressure to be the grizzled, all-knowing survivor he thinks you are. The truth is, you're just better at hiding your terror. It's just Look at this place, he whispers again, failing his one instruction. The artisans of the second spasm really went all out. They say each statue is a unique soul, captured at the moment of its failed ascension. Their failed experiments, Juno, you grunt, your voice low and rough. Piles of meat that didn't take. Don't romanticize the rot. It'll eat you faster. You reach the pulsing mound. It's a heap of discarded umbilicals, vestigial limbs, and slick, gray placentas, all still twitching with a shadow of life. The source of the faint light is a clutch of fungal pods, their caps glowing a soft, sickly green. You crouch, pulling a long, thin probe from your belt. Your movements are economical, honed by years of sifting through the universe's garbage. Your flaw is a simple one, a rule for survival etched into your soul. Overwhelming distrust of anyone not similarly stained by the miasma. The clean ones, the ones who walk through the world without a patina of filth and desperation, they're the ones you watch. They have agendas. They have ideologies. They have the luxury of belief. People like Juno, stained and striving, are at least predictable. Annoying but predictable. Or so you tell yourself. The contact said it would be here, Juno says, peering over your shoulder. A pre-blight nutrient pack. Said it was sealed in a mnemonic cyst. You just have to, pop it. I know the job, Juno. You gently press the tip of your probe against one of the larger, semi-translucent sacs in the pile. It quivers, and a ripple of movement passes through the entire heap. Inside the sac, a dark, rectangular shape is suspended in amber-colored fluid. That's it. Mnemonic cysts were a short-lived fad from before the wars, organic storage devices. Most of them dissolved into primordial soup decades ago. Finding an intact one is rare. Finding one with preserved rations inside, that could fetch enough to buy passage on a smuggler's barge, get you one step closer to the rumored clean zones in the northern wastes. One step closer to real soil. Another drop of viscous fluid falls from the ceiling, this one landing squarely on the back of your gloved hand. You glance at it, and at the scar beneath the glove. It's a puckered, ugly thing, a starburst of tissue on your right palm. Not from a beast, not from a weapon. It's from the first bite, the one you took from your own flesh years ago in a fever dream of transformation. You defelt the blight taking root, the alien geometry of its growth spreading up your arm from a minor scratch. In a moment of pure animal panic, you slammed your hand onto a heated pipe, cauterizing the wound and the change within it, searing the monster out of you before it could be born. You suppressed it, but you never forgot the hunger. The secret knowledge of what you could have become hums beneath your skin, a constant, low-grade fever. It's the true source of your distrust. You've seen the enemy, and it was almost you. You take a breath, steadying your hand. You have to be delicate. Puncture the cyst too violently, and it releases a psychoactive spore cloud that can trap you in the memories of whatever organism grew it. You've seen scavengers standing stock still for weeks, drooling, their minds lost in the dream of being a sentient tumor. Almost there, you murmur, applying gentle pressure. The membrane of the cyst begins to stretch, to thin. The nutrient pack inside shifts, and that's when you hear it. not the wet suck of boots, but the clean, crisp click of a maglock sole on stone. A sound of wealth, a sound of purpose. Step away from the cyst, a voice commands. It's female, clear, and utterly devoid of the rasp of someone who breathes this air for a living. It rings with an authority that makes the hairs on your neck stand on end. You freeze. Slowly, you turn your head. Standing at the entrance to the nave are two figures. They wear immaculate, form-fitting environmental suits of a stark, sterile white, the kind the Ministry of Purification issues to its high-ranking agents. They are unstained, untouched. Their helmets are polarized, hiding their faces, but you don't need to see them to feel their contempt. Juno makes a small, terrified sound, like a stepped-on animal. Purifiers, he hisses. The lead figure takes a step forward. The suit is sleeker than her companions, with subtle, almost decorative gold tracery along the arms and chest. She removes her helmet. The face revealed is sharp, intelligent, framed by short-cut black hair. Her eyes are a piercing, analytical gray. She is Anya Cogsworth. You know the name. Everyone in the Mire knows the name. They call her the Gilded Mirror, a high-level enforcer for the Ministry, known for her ruthless efficiency in cleansing blighted zones. She's a zealot, a true believer in purity. She represents everything you despise. That artifact is Ministry property, she says, her voice calm, yet carrying an absolute threat. It was grown from a confiscated genetic sequence. Surrender it, and we will permit you to leave. You remain crouched, your hand still holding the probe against the delicate skin of the cyst. Your mind races. This wasn't supposed to happen. A simple salvage op, in and out. The contact must have been a rat. Your distrust, for once, had failed you. This is salvage, Cogsworth, you growl, your voice low. Finders keepers, law of the Mire. Anya offers a small, dismissive smile. It doesn't reach her eyes. The laws of the Mire end where the Ministry's authority begins. You are in a designated quarantine zone. By rights, I should be sterilizing you both where you stand. I am offering you a courtesy. Behind her, her partner raises a Gauss rifle. The whine of its charging capacitors is a high, thin scream in the quiet abattoir. This is it, the moment where it all goes wrong. Your heart hammers against your ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the cathedral's wet pulse. Your goal, the soil, the escape feels impossibly distant. All that exists is this standoff, in a hall of dead things, with a zealot in white and her finger on the trigger. Juno is trembling beside you. Boss, maybe we should just. Quiet, you snap. You look from Anya's cold, confident face to the glowing cyst. An idea, desperate and terrible, begins to form. You look back at her. You want it. Come and get it. With a flick of your wrist, you don't just puncture the mnemonic cyst. You slash it wide open. A great, shimmering cloud of golden spores erupts from the ruptured sac, billowing outwards in a silent, beautiful explosion. Anya's eyes widen in alarm. No, you fool, but it's too late. The spore cloud washes over you, over Juno, over the two Ministry agents. The world dissolves. The cloying scent of the abattoir is replaced by the smell of ozone and hot metal. The wet sucking of your boots vanishes, replaced by the hum of powerful machinery. You are not you. You are a memory. You are a consciousness embedded in a biological hard drive, and you are remembering what it felt like to be born. Not in a womb, but in a sterile, corporate laboratory. The Ministry of Purification's logo, a stylized, sterile tree, is emblazoned on the wall. You feel the cold of a nutrient bath, the prick of a dozen automated needles injecting you with code, with purpose. You are a tool, a biological solution to an unforeseen problem. And then you feel something else, a connection, a network, 1,000, a million other consciousnesses like you, all waking up at once. A hive mind. This isn't just a nutrient pack. This is a symbiotic entity, one of the first. The memory is a sales pitch, a demonstration of its power, its unity. Join us. Be part of something greater. Shed the lonely burden of self. The vision is seductive. It promises an end to fear, to struggle. It offers a clean, perfect, ordered existence. It is the symbiotic pact, the societal structure that has swallowed entire settlements, offering biological augmentation and a hive mind connection in exchange for individuality. To you, it's a living death, a surrender more profound than any bullet. It's the antithesis of your quest for untainted soil, for a place where a single, unique seed can grow on its own terms. The vision shatters as quickly as it came. You gasp, falling back on the slick floor, the real world crashing back in on you. The air is thick with the lingering spores. Juno is on his hands and knees, retching. The two ministry agents are frozen solid, standing like statues, their weapons still raised. Their eyes, visible through their visors, are wide and unfocused. They are lost in the memory, trapped in the dream of the hive. Anya, however, is staggering, one hand pressed to her temple. Her suit must have better filters. She fought it off. But she's disoriented, vulnerable. This is your chance. Juno, grab the pack, you roar, scrambling to your feet. He looks up, his face pale and slick with sweat. He nods dumbly and fumbles in the ruined cyst, pulling the nutrient pack free. You draw your own weapon, a heavy, reliable slug thrower you call the Persuader. You level it at Anya. Her gray eyes focus on you, filled with a mixture of fury and something else. Not fear, calculation. You have no idea what you've just done, she says, her voice strained. That wasn't just a symbiote. It was a key. Looks like a meal ticket to me, you snarl, backing away towards a side exit, a crumbling archway that leads deeper into the underbelly of the cathedral. Juno, move. He scrambles after you, clutching the pack to his chest like a holy relic. You keep your gun trained on Anya as you retreat. She doesn't move to follow. She just watches you, her expression unreadable. You think you're escaping something, Scavenger, she calls out, her voice echoing in the vast, silent space. You're not. You're just running deeper into the rot. The blight isn't just in the soil. It's in everything, everyone. And you're carrying its genesis in your hands. Her words slither into your mind, cold and sharp. You push them away. She's a zealot, trying to get under your skin. You disappear into the darkness of the archway, Juno stumbling behind you. The last thing you see is Anya Cogsworth, standing alone amidst the statues of the dead, and the two living ones you've just created, the gilded mirror in a garden of failed flesh. You are running. The dark, cramped corridors of the Abattoir substructure are a maze of dripping pipes and crumbling brickwork. The air is even thicker down here, stagnant and heavy, with the smell of mold and something acrid, like old blood. Your boots splash through ankle-deep, murky water. Boss, what was that? Juno pants, struggling to keep up. In my head, I saw we were all one. It felt like poison. You cut him off, not breaking stride. It's the pack's lure, unity, purpose, an end to being alone. It's the sweetest sounding trap in the world, Juno. Don't ever forget that. You risk a glance back. No sign of pursuit. Anya is either still recovering or smart enough not to follow you into the labyrinthine depths without a map. You slow to a brisk walk, trying to regulate your breathing. Your heart is still pounding. The encounter has left a bitter taste in your mouth, more than just the usual fear of death. Anya's presence, her cleanliness, her absolute certainty, it was an indictment of your entire existence. She operates on a plane of ideals and directives. You operate on a plane of mud and hunger. A key, Juno mutters, looking down at the nutrient pack he's still holding. What did she mean, a key? Zealot talk, you say, perhaps a little too quickly. They see signs and portents in everything. To them, anything that's not pure is a key to damnation. Forget it. All that matters is this thing gets us to the gray harbor. We sell it. We get a berth on a skimmer, and we're gone. You navigate the tunnels by instinct, following the faint drafts that suggest a way out. The walls here are coated in a phosphorescent slime that provides a dim, greasy light. It illuminates strange, fungal growths that sprout from the mortar, some resembling skeletal hands, others like clusters of pale, sightless eyes. This is the pervasive, suffocating blight Anya spoke of, the conflict one of your miserable life. It's not a single entity, but a million different forms of rampant, uncontrolled life, all competing, all corrupting. It makes your search for untainted soil a desperate, almost theological quest, a pilgrimage to a land that may not even exist. You finally emerge into a vast, cavernous cistern. A huge, rusted-out water purification system dominates the center of the chamber, its pipes and tanks draped in thick, moss-like tendrils. A series of catwalks, slick with moisture and decay, crisscross the space above a deep pool of stagnant, black water. This is your way out. An outflow pipe on the far side leads directly to the mire. As you step onto the first catwalk, the metal groans under your weight. You pause, listening. The only sound is the slow, rhythmic drip, drip, drip of water from 100 different leaks. All right, you say, keeping your voice low. We cross here, single file, step where I step. Some of these plates are rusted through. Juno nods, his eyes wide as he stares into the inky blackness of the water below. What's in there? You don't want to know. Just don't fall. You start across, testing each step before putting your full weight on it. The air is cooler here, the smell of decay mingling with the metallic tang of rust. Halfway across, Juno speaks again, his voice barely a whisper. Boss, about my schemes, you sigh, not turning around. Not now, Juno. No, I had this idea. A real winner this time, he persists. We take a little piece of that nutrient pack, right? Just a sliver. And we cultivate it. We could grow our own symbiotes. We could sell them. We'd be rich. We wouldn't have to run anymore. You stop dead. You turn slowly, the catwalk creaking in protest. You look at him. His face, illuminated by the faint fungal glow, is alight with a manic, idiotic excitement. He truly believes this is a brilliant plan. He saw the same horrifying vision of lost identity, of a soulless collective, and his first thought was how to bottle and sell it. The gulf between your worldviews has never felt wider. Juno, you say, your voice dangerously calm. Have you listened to a single word I've said in the 2 years you've been following me around? His face falls. But it's a resource. People want what the pact offers. We'd be providing a service. We are scavengers. We pick through the trash of a world that's already dead. We do not, ever, help spread the disease. The anger in your chest is a hot, tight knot. He doesn't get it. He's so desperate for a big score, for a way out that doesn't involve decades of filth and struggle, that he's willing to sell the very thing you're running from. Your distrust, that hard-won shield, crystallizes into something sharper, colder. You see him not as a misguided apprentice, but as a potential vector for everything you loathe. It's just an idea, he mumbles, looking down at his feet. It's a stupid, dangerous idea. Now drop it and keep moving. You turn your back on him and continue across the catwalk. The silence that follows is heavy, broken only by your footsteps and his, more hesitant now, behind you. The admiration he holds for you feels like a chain, and right now, you want nothing more than to break it. You've set an example, all right, an example of how to be a cynical, distrustful bastard. And maybe he's finally starting to learn. You reach the other side and climb the ladder to the outflow pipe. It's a tight squeeze, and the inside is slick with algae. You crawl for what feels like an eternity, the sound of rushing water somewhere far below. Finally, you see a sliver of gray light. You push open a rusted grate and tumble out onto a muddy bank, gasping in the relatively fresh, rain-scented air of the mire. You're out. For now. Juno emerges a moment later, still clutching the pack. He avoids your gaze. The tension between you is a palpable thing. The abattoir is behind you, but you feel as though you've brought its oppressive atmosphere with you. You spend the next 3 days trekking through the mire. It's a landscape of perpetual twilight, the sun a pale, forgotten coin behind a permanent gray overcast. Skeletal trees claw at the sky, their branches draped in veils of leprous, white moss. The ground is a treacherous soup of mud and brackish water, punctuated by islands of semi-solid earth, where strange, fleshy fungi grow in vibrant, toxic colors. You move with a grim efficiency, hunting the mutated, crab-like creatures that skitter through the wetlands for food, purifying the water with chemical tablets. You speak only when necessary. Juno tries to bridge the gap between you a few times, pointing out a rare bird or telling a bad joke, but your monosyllabic responses eventually beat him into silence. He's become quiet, sullen. He performs his duties without complaint, but the light has gone out of his eyes. You tell yourself it's for the best. He needs to learn that hope is a liability. Your distrust festers. You sleep in short, wary bursts, always with one ear open, your slug thrower in your hand. You watch Juno when you think he's not looking. You see him staring at the nutrient pack, a strange, calculating look on his face. Is he still thinking about his scheme? Or is he thinking of cutting your throat in your sleep and taking it for himself? The thought is ugly, but it takes root in your mind. The mire has a way of turning everyone into a monster eventually. Why should he be any different? On the fourth day, you reach a place called the Rust Market. It's a makeshift town built on a series of interconnected, derelict barges that are permanently mired in the mud of a wide, slow-moving river. It's a wretched hive of scavengers, smugglers, and information brokers, a place where anything can be bought or sold for the right price. It's your best bet for finding a way to Gray Harbor. The market is a chaotic assault on the senses. The air smells of rust, unwashed bodies, and frying synth protein. The cacophony of a dozen different languages, haggling, arguments, and the screech of grinding metal is constant. You move through the crowds with your hand on your weapon, Juno trailing behind you like a ghost. Everyone here is stained, just like you. But your distrust doesn't lessen. These people are survivors, and survivors are the most dangerous animals of all. You find a broker named Silas, a man whose body is more machine than flesh. His face is a polished chrome plate with glowing optic sensors, his voice a synthesized rasp. You meet him in the bowels of a rusted-out tanker, the only light coming from his own eyes. What do you have? Silas's voice box crackles. You nod to Juno. He hesitantly places the nutrient pack on a makeshift table between you. Silas extends a spindly, metallic finger and prods it. A series of scanners emerge from his wrist, bathing the pack in red and blue light. Pre-blight, military grade. Self-sustaining. Contains a dormant class 4 symbiotic consciousness, Silas recites. Rare, valuable. We need passage for 2 to Gray Harbor, you say. On a fast skimmer, no questions asked. Silas's optic sensors whir as they focus on you. Gray Harbor is a long way, dangerous route. Factions are active. Ministry patrols have increased. That's your problem. Can you do it or not? The broker is silent for a long moment. The value of the asset is sufficient, but there is a complication. A bounty has been placed on an item matching this description. A high bounty from the ministry. Your blood runs cold. Anya, she didn't just let you go. She put a price on your head. And another, even higher, Silas continues, his voice flat, from a private party, goes by the name Gilded Mirror. They don't want the asset destroyed, they want it, and the one carrying it, delivered alive. You stare at Silas, your mind reeling. Anya Cogsworth is the Gilded Mirror. She's not just a ministry agent. She has her own operation, her own agenda. She's playing both sides. Why? What is so important about this pack that she'd risk going against her own people? Her words in the Abattoir echo in your mind. It's not just a symbiote, it's a key. So you're going to turn us in, you say, your hand dropping to your gun. Business is business, Silas rasps. The bounty is high. Passage is cheap. The math is simple. He doesn't seem threatened. He knows the market is his domain. Doors slide shut behind you with a heavy clang. You're trapped. But, the broker adds, tilting his chrome head. I am a connoisseur of chaos. The ministry is predictable. This gilded mirror is not. Her interest makes this asset more interesting. I will grant you passage for a price. We're giving you the pack, you say through gritted teeth. You will give me the pack, Silas corrects, and you will tell me everything you know about Anya Cogsworth. And in exchange for this additional information, I will neglect to inform her agents that you are hiding in the cargo hold of my fastest skimmer. It's a bad deal, a terrible deal. You're giving up everything for a chance to run. But it's the only deal you have. You look at Juno. His face is a mask of fear. He looks lost. It's your fault. You dragged him into this. Your obsession with untainted soil, your refusal to play the game, your bone-deep cynicism. You've led him down a path that ends in a chrome-faced monster's trap. And then something shifts in Juno's expression. The fear recedes, replaced by a flicker of something you haven't seen before. Resolve. No, Juno says. His voice is quiet but firm. Silas's optics focus on him. You just stare. What did you say, boy? Silas asks, a hint of amusement in his synthesized voice. I said no, Juno repeats, louder this time. He steps forward. You're not getting it. We had a deal. The pack for passage. He puffs out his chest, trying to look imposing. It's a pathetic, suicidal display of bravado. Your boss seems to understand the situation better than you do, Silas says. Stay out of it. He's not my boss, Juno says, and the words hit you like a physical blow. Not anymore. He looks at you, and for the first time, there is no admiration in his eyes. Only a deep, burning resentment. You were right, you know, he says to you, his voice shaking with anger. Hope is a liability. Trust is for fools. All that matters is the score, the way out. I learned that from you. Before you can react, he lunges. But not at Silas. He grabs the nutrient pack from the table. Juno, what are you doing? You shout. He doesn't answer. He turns and sprints towards a side door you hadn't noticed, a maintenance hatch. The asset, Silas screeches, and a panel in his arm opens, revealing a concealed plasma pistol. But Juno is faster. He slaps a control panel, and the hatch slides open with a hiss. He gives you one last look, a look of bitter triumph. I'm going to be rich, he says. Then he's gone, disappearing into the darkness of the ship's maintenance tunnels. The hatch slams shut. Alarms begin to blare. Silas fires his plasma pistol, but the shot just splashes harmlessly against the sealed door. He turns his glowing optics to you. The amused tone is gone. He took my payment, he rasps, his voice lethal. Which means you have nothing left to trade. Heavy footsteps echo from the corridor outside the main door. Silas's guards, or worse, the bounty hunters he summoned. The betrayal is so complete, so absolute, it leaves you breathless. It wasn't greed that drove him to this, not entirely. It was you. Your constant dismissal, your corrosive distrust, your refusal to see him as anything more than a burden. You pushed him away, and he finally pushed back. He took your lessons to heart and used them against you. Your flaw, your armor, has become the weapon that just gutted you. You are alone, trapped, with nothing but the bitter taste of failure in your mouth. And somewhere in the rusted guts of this floating market, your apprentice is running with the one thing that could have been your salvation. intending to sell it to the very people you're running from. The irony is so thick, you could drown in it. The fate of the world. You couldn't even manage the fate of one stupid kid. And now, you're about to pay the price. The door in front of you slides open, revealing 3 hulking figures armed to the teeth. Their faces are hidden behind the grim, insect-like masks of freelance bounty hunters. You raise the persuader. There's no way out, but you'll be damned if you go down without a fight. The first shot echoes in the confined space like a crack of thunder. The fight is a blur of muzzle flashes and desperation. You are a cornered animal, all instinct and fury. You use the table for cover, the heavy slugs from your pistol punching deep. Resonant thunks into the metal as the bounty hunters return fire with high-energy projectiles that sizzle through the air. One of them goes down, clutching a smoking hole in his chest. The other 2 press forward, pinning you down. You are outmanned, outgunned. The end is coming, swift and ignominious, in the greasy hold of a junk barge. And for what? A myth. A handful of dirt. You think of Juno, and a fresh wave of cold rage washes over you. He didn't just betray you, he made your entire struggle meaningless. Then, chaos erupts from behind the hunters. A figure in a stark white suit drops from a ceiling vent, silent as a wraith. Anya Cogsworth. She moves with a fluid, deadly grace that is nothing like the stiff posture of a ministry enforcer. In her hands are 2 silenced machine pistols. Before the bounty hunters can even turn, she fires. The sound is a pair of soft fut-fut-futs, and the 2 remaining hunters collapse, neat holes drilled in the back of their helmets. Silence falls, broken only by the hum of the ship's systems and your own ragged breathing. Anya straightens up, the pistols held loosely at her sides. She looks at you, then at the dead hunters, then at Silas, who has wisely retracted his own weapon and is standing perfectly still. Her face is unreadable. You manage to say, still aiming your weapon at her. What is this? A rescue, Scavenger. Though you hardly deserve it, she says, her voice crisp. She takes a step forward, and you flinch, tightening your grip on your gun. She ignores it. Silas, you were foolish to alert both parties of the bounty. It makes things so competitive. Gilded mirror, Silas rasps, a new note of fear in his synthesized voice. Your payment is assured. The boy has the asset. The boy is an idiot. He'll be caught or killed within the hour, and the asset will fall into ministry hands. That is an unacceptable outcome, Anya states calmly. She turns her piercing gaze back to you. Which is why you are going to help me get it back. You laugh, a harsh, humorless sound. Help you? You're the one who put a price on my head, your ministry, a purifier. I am a pragmatist, she says, choosing her word carefully. The ministry believes the symbiote is a key to damnation, a source of corruption to be destroyed on sight. They are wrong. It is a key, yes, but not to damnation. She takes another step, holstering her weapons in a single, smooth motion, a sign of trust or supreme confidence. The truth, Scavenger, is that the ministry's entire opulent facade is built on a lie. They aren't fighting the blight. They created it. The words hang in the air, so monumental in their implication that your mind struggles to grasp them. flesh wars, the blight, the symbiotic pacts, all of it. It wasn't an alien plague or a divine punishment. It was a corporate accident, a failed terraforming agent released decades ago that rewrites organic life on a genetic level. The Ministry of Purification was the R&D department of the corporation responsible. They're not saving the world, they're managing their catastrophic failure, profiting from the cures they sell, like the pacts, while suppressing the truth. Everything you thought you knew tilts on its axis. The purifiers and the accelerators weren't two opposing sides of a war. They were the manufactured reaction to a single, hidden cause. Anya wasn't a zealot. She was a whistleblower. Her goal to uncover and disseminate the truth wasn't about ideology. It was about justice. The reason your goals clashed wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a difference in scale. You were trying to escape a house fire, while she was trying to prove who the arsonist was. That nutrient pack, you say, lowering your guns slightly. The symbiote. It's not just a symbiote, she explains, her voice dropping, becoming more urgent. It's one of the first, a pure, uncorrupted sample from before the agent went wild. It contains the original, stable source code. It's a Rosetta Stone for the blight. In the right hands, it could be used to create a counteragent, a real cure. In the Ministry's hands, it will be buried forever, along with anyone who knows it exists. She looks you in the eye. The cold, analytical light is still there, but now you see something else beneath it, a desperate, burning conviction. I need it back, and you know the boy. You know how he thinks. You are my best chance of finding him before the Ministry does. You stand there, the weight of her revelation pressing down on you. Your personal quest for a patch of clean dirt seems so small, so pathetically selfish in the face of this. But the distrust is still there, a bitter, familiar taste. Why should I believe you, you ask? For the first time, a flicker of emotion crosses Anya's face. Frustration. Because your other option is to stay here and be dissected by either Silas's men or the Ministry squad that will be here in less than 5 minutes. As if on cue, a distant alarm begins to sound throughout the barge town. Your choice, Scavenger. Continue your pointless flight from the symptoms, or help me attack the disease at its source. The world you knew has been a lie. The enemy you hated is not the real enemy. The woman you thought was your antagonist is offering you a chance at a different kind of salvation, not for yourself, but for everyone. It's a choice between your deeply ingrained cynicism and a terrifying, unfamiliar flicker of purpose. Fine, you hear yourself say, the word feeling foreign on your tongue. We find Juno. We get the pack, but we do it my way. In the mire, you're on my turf. A hint of a smile touches Anya's lips. An acceptable arrangement. She turns to Silas. You will show us the way into the maintenance tunnels, and you will delay the Ministry. Do that, and I will forget you tried to sell me to myself. Silas's chrome head nods jerkily. This way. You follow Anya and the broker, your mind a whirlwind. You've just made an alliance with your enemy to hunt down your apprentice, to recover a key that could save the world. The scar on your hand seems to throb, a reminder of the personal battle you've been fighting. Maybe the blight wasn't just something to be escaped. Maybe it was something to be fought. And maybe, just maybe, This clean, gilded woman was the only one with the right weapons. The maintenance tunnels are a claustrophobic hell of hissing steam pipes and narrow, grated walkways over churning bilge water. The air is hot and tastes of oil. You move quickly, Anya keeping pace effortlessly. Her white suit is already smudged with grease and grime, but she seems not to notice. She is a woman of singular focus. He's a coward, but he's not a complete fool, you say, your voice echoing in the narrow space. He'll look for the quickest way out of the market. That means the lower bilge pumps. They dump directly into the river. And the ministry will anticipate that, Anya counters. They'll have the river exits covered. He'll be trapped. No, you say, a grim certainty settling in. He won't go through them. He'll go under. There's an old smuggler's duct that runs beneath the main pump assembly. It's half flooded, full of mire leeches. No one in their right mind would use it. But Juno, he's desperate. And he knows I know about it. He might even be hoping I'll follow. A trap, a plea for help. With Juno, it could be both. As you navigate the maze, a strange dynamic forms between you and Anya. You lead, pointing out structural weaknesses, loose gratings, the nests of mutated vermin that infest the ship's guts. She follows, observing, analyzing. She asks questions, not about you, but about the environment. The life cycle of the rust barnacles, the chemical composition of the bilge water. Her mind is a relentless engine of data acquisition. You've spent your whole life in these places, haven't you? She asks at one point, her voice neutral. Someone has to, you reply without looking back. And all you want is to leave it, she states. It's not a question. To find a place untouched by all this. It's a beautiful, pointless dream. It's better than no dream at all, you grunt. Is it? A dream of escape is still a prison, scavenger. It's just one of your own making. The only dream worth having is one of changing things, of burning the old world down to make way for a better one. Her revolutionary fervor is as alien to you as the symbiote's hive mind. You've only ever dreamed of a small, quiet piece of the old world, not a whole new one. You find the entrance to the smuggler's duct. It's a circular hatch, half submerged in filthy water, sealed with a heavy, rusted wheel. There are fresh scratches on the metal. Juno came this way. As you work to open it, Anya produces a small, sophisticated scanner. She runs it over the hatch. His biosign is faint, but present. He came through here no more than 30 minutes ago. There's another signal too, faint, non-human, following him. Mire leeches, you say, finally managing to turn the wheel with a groan of protesting metal. No, Anya says, her brow furrowed. This is something else, something structured, intelligent. You pause, a knot of unease tightening in your stomach. What else is down here? Before you can ask, the hatch swings open, revealing a dark, water-filled tunnel. The stench that wafts out is appalling. Welcome to the Mire's basement, you say grimly, and slide into the cold, foul water. The tunnel is a nightmare. You're submerged up to your chest in murky water, your feet sinking into a sludge of unidentifiable filth. The only light comes from your headlamp, its beam cutting a narrow swathe through the oppressive darkness. Strange, pale things scatter from the light, and you can feel others brushing against your legs. Anya is behind you, her suit protecting her from the worst of it, but you can see the tension in her movements. This is your element, not hers. For the first time, she seems to be relying on you completely. "So, what's your story, Mirror?" you ask, your voice flat, to break the tense silence. How does a top ministry agent decide to burn the whole organization to the ground? She's silent for a long moment. When she speaks, her voice is low, stripped of its usual authority. "My parents were researchers. They worked for the corporation before it became the ministry. They were part of the terraforming project. They believed they were creating a paradise. When the accident happened, when the blight was released, they were branded as traitors and executed. A convenient way to silence the ones who knew the truth. The confession is stark, simple. It explains everything. This isn't just a crusade for her. It's a vendetta. I joined the ministry to find the evidence," she continues, "to climb high enough to access the archives, to find the proof they covered up. I've spent my entire life wearing the face of my enemy. This symbiote, it's the last piece I need. The source code is the smoking gun." You move on in a new kind of silence. She is not the gilded mirror you imagined. She's an orphan, same as you, just one with a much grander sense of revenge. Your distrust of her hasn't vanished, but it's been complicated by a grudging respect. You find Juno an hour later. He's cornered in a small, circular chamber where several tunnels converge. He's backed up against a grate, clutching the nutrient pack, his face streaked with tears and grime. He's not alone. Between you and him stands a creature. It's unlike any blight spawn you've ever seen. It's vaguely humanoid, tall and impossibly thin. Its skin a mottled gray that seems to shift and flow. It has too many joints in its long, spindly limbs, allowing them to bend at unnatural angles. Its head is a smooth, featureless ovoid, except for a single, large, luminous blue eye that floats in its center like a captive galaxy. This is the intelligent signal Anya detected. It's not attacking Juno. It's communicating with him. Not with words, but with a low, resonant hum that seems to vibrate in your bones. A series of complex, shifting patterns of light are playing across its slick skin. Juno is staring at it, mesmerized. "What is that thing?" you whisper to Anya. "I don't know," she breathes, her scanner pointed at the creature. Its energy signature is off the charts. It's like a nexus of the blight, a highly evolved, sentient form. You raise your slug thrower. "I'll distract it." You grab the boy. "No, wait," Anya says, putting a hand on your arm. Her touch is surprisingly strong. "Look." The creature turns its single, massive eye towards you. The humming stops. A sense of profound, ancient intelligence washes over you. It's not hostile. It's curious. It's waiting. And then you see it. Anya's hand is on your arm, but another of the creature's spindly limbs is resting, almost gently, on her shoulder. They are not fighting. They aren't even wary of each other. A cold, shocking realization dawns on you. This isn't a random encounter. This is a rendezvous. "You know this thing," you say, your voice a low growl of accusation. The pieces snap into place. The unexpected ally from the diversification seed prompt. The non-human signal. Anya's confidence. Anya doesn't look at you. Her gaze is fixed on the creature. Its name is a frequency we can't pronounce. I call it witness, she says softly. It is a first-generation child of the blight. It remembers the beginning. It's the one who told me where to find the symbiote key. The secret alliance isn't between two people. It's between the pristine ministry agent and a monster born of the filth she pretends to hate. Your carefully reconstructed worldview shatters for the second time in as many hours. The lines aren't just blurred, they've been erased completely. It wants to help us, Anya says. The blight was not its choice. It is a corruption of its own nature. It seeks to purify itself, to restore the original code. The creature, witness, extends a long, three-fingered hand towards you, not in threat, but in invitation. The light patterns on its skin slow, forming a simple, repeating image, a tree, a stylized, sterile tree, the logo of the ministry. Then the image cracks, withering, and from its roots, a new, vibrant, chaotic, but healthy-looking tree sprouts. A reset. A new beginning. Juno finally snaps out of his trance. He sees you, and his face crumples. Boss, I'm sorry, he stammers, holding out the nutrient pack. I was going to sell it. I was going to give you half. I wanted to show you I could do something right for once. All the anger, all the bitterness you felt towards him evaporates, leaving only a hollow ache of pity. He's just a kid, in way over his head, trying to impress a broken man who couldn't be impressed. It's okay, Juno, you say, and you're surprised to find that you mean it. Just give me the pack. As you step forward, a deafening explosion rips through the tunnels from the direction you came. The entire structure shudders, and dust rains down from the ceiling. They've found us, Anya says, her voice tense. They're blasting their way in. Heavy, rhythmic clanking sounds echo down the tunnel. The unmistakable sound of ministry exoskeletons. The final confrontation is here. Not in an office or a lab, but in a sewer with a repentant fool, a vengeful zealot, and a sentient monster. The fate of the world rests in a glorified lunchbox, and the people coming to claim it are clad in righteous, sterile steel. There's no way out, Juno cries, his brief moment of courage gone. There is always a way, Anya says, her eyes gleaming with cold fire. She looks at Witness. The core chamber, the central womb. Can you get us there? Witness hums, a low, affirmative tone. The blue eye swivels to a large, sealed grate on the floor. It taps the grate with one of its long fingers, and the rusted metal dissolves into dust, revealing a dark, vertical shaft plunging into the depths. Where does that go, you ask? To the heart of it all, Anya says, grabbing the nutrient pack from you. The place where the ministry first seeded the blight into the planet's biosphere. The source. The umbilical link is there. The what, not a what. A who, she corrects. Patient zero. The original biological host they bonded the terraforming agent to. It's still alive, and it's the only thing capable of interfacing with the symbiote key to broadcast the counteragent planet-wide. She doesn't wait for a response. She leaps into the shaft, her white suit a fleeting comet in the darkness. Witness gives you a look with its vast, unknowable eye, then follows her, folding its long limbs to fit into the narrow space. The clanking of the exoskeletons is getting louder. You look at Juno, who is staring at the dark hole in terror. Come on, you say, grabbing his arm. You wanted a big score. We're about to hit the biggest one there is. You pull him with you, and together, you plunge into the abyss, leaving the sounds of the dying world behind for the promise of a new one waiting to be born. The fall is blessedly short. You land in a cushion of soft, yielding biomass, the impact absorbed by meters of fungal growth. You are in a vast cavern, impossibly huge, the true underbelly of the world. The air is warm, humid, and carries the scent not of decay, but of life, a strange, alien, amniotic smell. The chamber is lit by a soft, pulsating, pinkish light that emanates from the walls themselves. They are not rock, but living tissue, veined with thick, cable-like arteries that throb in a slow, steady rhythm. You are inside a living organism, the womb. In the center of the cavern, suspended by 1,000 of these arterial cables, is a colossal, vaguely spherical mass of flesh. It pulses with the same pink light, and from its surface, you can see shapes moving within, like dreamers tossing in their sleep. This is the source, patient zero, the umbilical link. Anya is already there, standing on a ledge before the massive entity, holding the nutrient pack. Witness stands beside her, its hand resting on the pulsing surface of the central mass, its single eye closed as if in communion. It's dying, Anya says, as you and Juno approach. The ministry has been poisoning it for years, trying to kill the evidence of their failure. But it's held on, waiting. Waiting for what, you ask, your voice a whisper in the cavernous space. For this, she says, holding up the symbiote key. The original code, a memory of what it was supposed to be. She presses the pack against the creature's flesh. The pack dissolves, melting into the larger biomass like a drop of water into the ocean. A tremor runs through the entire chamber. The pink light intensifies, and a low, resonant hum fills the air, the same hum Witness made, but 1,000 times more powerful. It's a sound of awakening. It's working, Anya breathes, a look of fierce, triumphant joy on her face. The code is being accepted. It's purging the corruption. In a few minutes, it will be stable enough to broadcast the counteragent. And that's when they arrive. From a dozen tunnels high on the cavern walls, figures rappel down. Ministry paladins in heavy, white-tanned gold exoskeleton armor. They land with thunderous clangs, their plasma projectors and Gauss rifles powering up with hungry wines. Leading them is a man in an ornate, gilded suit that puts Anya's to shame. He has no helmet. His face is old, lined with aristocratic arrogance, his silver hair perfectly coiffed. This must be the leader, the true power behind the ministry. Anya Coxworth, the man says, his voice amplified by his suit, booming through the cavern. The prodigal daughter returns, and you've brought the master key with you. How thoughtful. Director Valerius, Anya spits the name like a curse. Your reign of lies is over. Lies. Valerius chuckles, a dry, condescending sound. My dear girl, we have never lied. We have merely curated the truth. The blight was a tragedy, yes, an unforeseen complication. But from that tragedy, we offered humanity a new path, the symbiotic pact, order, unity, an evolution beyond the squabbling, selfish individualism that was destroying the planet long before our little accident. He gestures to the pulsing mass behind Anya. That thing is the past, a failed experiment. The pacts are the future. You think your cure will save them. It will kill them. The millions who have accepted the pact are no longer compatible with the old world's biology. Your reset would be a death sentence for them. We are not suppressing a cure, child. We are preventing a genocide. His words hit you with the force of a physical blow. He's not entirely wrong. You saw the pacts. People who had willingly given up their humanity for peace. To rip that away. Would it be salvation or murder? He's twisting it, Anya insists, but a flicker of doubt crosses her face. The cure can be adapted. It has to be. There is no time, Valerius bellows. You have started a cascade, Anya. In 5 minutes, that thing will broadcast, and millions will die. My paladins have one order: sterilize the source. Destroy it before it can commit this atrocity. The paladins raise their weapons. The choice is laid bare. Anya's cure, which would reveal the truth, but potentially slaughter millions of innocents. Or the ministry's lie, which would preserve the lives of the transformed at the cost of the rest of humanity's freedom. This is the climax. Not just a fight for a MacGuffin, but a clash of impossible, tragic ideals. Witness, Anya yells. Protect the link. The gray creature lets out a piercing, sonic shriek. The very walls of the womb seem to answer it, and great, fleshy tendrils erupt from the floor, lashing out at the paladins. The battle begins. Plasma fire scorches the living walls, which bleed a thick, steaming ichor. Witness is a whirlwind of impossible limbs, dismantling the exoskeletons with surgical precision. But there are too many of them. You and Juno are caught in the crossfire. You find cover behind a pulsating organic pillar, firing your slug thrower at the paladins, the heavy rounds barely scratching their armor. Juno is curled into a ball, terrified. I can't stop them all, Anya shouts over the din. The broadcast sequence needs to be manually guided. It can be refined. I can shield the pact-bound from the worst of it, give them a chance to adapt. But I need to interface with the core nexus. I need more time. Valerius, protected by a personal energy shield, is advancing steadily. It's over, Anya. Accept the new world we have built. This is it, your moment. Your entire cynical, selfish existence has led to this point. You could grab Juno and try to flee, disappear into the chaos. Let the world burn. Let them figure it out. Find your patch of soil while the ashes settle. You look at your right hand, the scar, the bite you suppressed. For years, you saw it as a mark of shame, a sign of your proximity to the monster. But now you see it differently. It wasn't a suppression. It was a choice to remain yourself, to fight for your own singular, stubborn existence against a tide of transformation. And what is the point of that existence, if not to choose? Juno, you roar, grabbing him by the collar. Get over to Anya. Protect her. Use that stupid, inventive brain of yours to help her with whatever she's doing. His eyes are wide with terror. But I'm buying you time, you say. You give him a shove towards Anya's position. Then you turn and you do the last thing anyone would expect. You run out from behind cover, directly towards Valerius and his elite guard. Hey, Tin Man, you scream, firing your pistol wildly. Over here, their attention shifts to you. A dozen plasma rifles target you. You are a dead man. But as you run, you focus on the scar, on the memory of the hunger, the memory of the power you denied yourself. For the first time in your life, you don't suppress it. You embrace it. You let the blight in. The pain is excruciating, a fire that races up your arm from the old scar tissue. Your skin splits, your bones crack and reform. The world dissolves into a red haze of pure, untamed biological impulse. Your old self, the Mire Scavenger, dies, and something new is born from the ruin. Something that is part you, part monster, all rage. You slam into the paladins not as a man, but as a living weapon. Your arms have become long, chitinous blades. Your skin has hardened into a biological armor. You are faster, stronger, a creature of the very blight they despise. You tear through their armor like it's paper, a whirlwind of righteous fury. Valerius watches in horror as you, the embodiment of the corruption he tried to control, dismantle his perfect, sterile soldiers. Abomination. He screams, firing his own weapon. The blast hits you, searing your flesh, but the pain only fuels you. Behind you, you are vaguely aware of Anya, her hands plunged into the central mass of the umbilical link, her face a mask of concentration. Juno is beside her, frantically manipulating a console that has emerged from the flesh, rerouting energy, shouting technical jargon he must have picked up from some half-broken manual. He found his purpose. You fight. You kill. You buy them the seconds they need. Finally, it's just you and Valerius. You are bleeding, dying, your new form already starting to fail, but you have one last surge of strength. You shatter his energy shield with a final, desperate blow and run him through with your bladed arm. His eyes widen in surprise and then in understanding. You see, he whispers, a bloody smile on his lips. In the end, everyone joins the pact. He slumps to the ground, dead. At that exact moment, a wave of pure, clean energy erupts from the umbilical link. It's not a sound, but a feeling. A deep, psychic pulse that washes over you, through the cavern, and out into the world. It's a message of healing, of truth, of change. The monstrous form you've taken dissolves. The pain recedes. You collapse to the floor, human again, but terribly wounded. You lie on the living ground, looking up at the now calmly pulsing umbilical link. Anya and Juno rush to your side. You did it, Anya says, her voice filled with an emotion you can't identify. Ah, perhaps. The broadcast is out. The truth is out. The ministry's control is broken. The counteragent is adapted. It will not kill the pact-bound. It will give them a choice. A chance to reclaim themselves if they want it. You manage a weak smile. Good, you cough, tasting blood. You're dying, Juno says, tears streaming down his face. Boss, why? Had to set. A perfect example, you rasp. You look at your hand. The scar is gone. In its place is smooth, new skin. You're not sure what it means. Maybe you burned the blight out. Maybe you finally made peace with it. Anya kneels beside you. She takes off her glove and places her clean, unstained hand on your chest. The world is in chaos now, she says, but it's an honest chaos. People will have to choose what comes next. Untainted soil, you whisper, your vision starting to blur. Find some for me. We will, she says softly. We'll grow a new world from it. Rest now, scavenger. You've earned it. The world fades to black, but not before you feel a final, fleeting sensation. Not the taste of ichor or the pressure of membranes, but the feeling of cool, clean earth running through your fingers. You have found your pocket of untainted soil after all. It was inside you, buried deep beneath the layers of cynicism and distrust, waiting for one final, selfless act to let it bloom. The Mire Scavenger is dead. But for the first time in a long time, the world has a chance to truly live.